Hey everybody, this is Seth with SethPerler.com, and this is a video for parents and students, both. Okay, so if you're in middle school, high school, or college, or you're a parent trying to help your child, whether they're in elementary or anything through college, this video is to help upgrade your grades at the end of a semester. Okay, so it's coming on the end of the semester. In this case, for this particular semester, it's April. And here's and a lot of students things really fall apart, and then all of a sudden May comes, and then school's out, and then they got a bunch of D's and F's. They're retaking classes in summer school, or they have to retake classes in the fall. Basically, you don't want to be getting D's or F's right now. That's not good. So let me talk about a few things. First of all, I'm going to be talking about how specifically to upgrade your grades, and I have a gift for you, a downloadable paper that you can download and use however you want. I'll go over that in a minute because this is key. But basically, I want to start off by saying, first of all, even though I'm going to tell you how you can upgrade your grades, I don't even believe letter grades are valid. I do not believe in letter grades. I think they are morally wrong. I think they're archaic. I think they're outdated. But they're a necessary evil. Technically, they're not a necessary evil. They're just evil. But honestly speaking, I don't believe in grades, but they do exist. And you do have to do well in school, and you want to be able to do well in school and learn how to get A's, B's, and C's and pass your classes. Ultimately, you want to be learning as much as you can. That's what it's really about. But I just wanted to preface that by saying, no, I don't even believe in grades. If you follow my stuff, you already know that. However, they exist. So we're going to deal with reality today, a world that exists with grades, okay? You follow me? So students, you don't have to get all thinking about, oh, this is wrong. I don't care. They exist. We're going to deal with it as is, okay? Ready? Here we go. Your MO, if you're the student, your pattern, okay? Your MO is, your modus operandi is to do something like this. Let's say that this is January and the semester starts. Things are going okay. Your grades are okay. Things kind of start to fall a little bit, but nobody notices. You don't notice, your parents don't notice, your teacher doesn't notice. A lot of times kids will start really strong at the first 2 to 3 weeks of a semester. It becomes February, you know, things can be dipping up, down, up and down a little bit. It's March, things might kind of plateau. It's April, things are going along, and boom, one day you look at your grades and all of a sudden you have 2 A pluses and 4 Fs, or some crazy wacky combination of grades. Usually my students, their grades are all over the place. But the point is you have some very scary grades and something needs to be done. And often what's going to happen with this pattern, okay, your MO is, okay, everything's fine, you're kind of in denial, you're avoiding doing homework or turning things in, or whatever your issues are with having trouble with getting homework done or studying for tests or whatever is going on, but all of a sudden one day everything comes tumbling down and it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And your parents obviously are going to bug you, and they're going to be like, what in the world is going on? We need to have a talk. We're going to lecture you. We're going to figure this out, blah, blah, blah. And your MO as the student is to be like, all right, don't worry, Mom. I got this taken care of. It's all good. I'll talk to the teacher tomorrow. I'll fix this tomorrow. I'll turn this in a couple days. And it's this cycle that often does not end as you intend it to. Often does not end with the grades you think you will get. Oftentimes my students are very unrealistic. They think, oh yeah, I'll pull it together, and it doesn't happen. That's the reality. And again, I'm talking real world, and I'm telling you the truth because these are the type of students I help, and I help them to not get into this pattern in the first place. And if they do get into a pattern, I help them to get out of it. And this is something that a lot of people don't see. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to do this. So you got to be honest about your pattern. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. Just be like, all right, that's my pattern, okay? Things kind of fall, you know, I'm in denial, I'm trying, but I let things slide, they fall apart, and we got to recalibrate from there. Now, what I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to talk about with this magical piece of paper is going to help you build habits. It's not going to make it perfect, but I am intending for you to build habits, because if you can build the habit of what's on here, you're golden. And no, you're not going to build a perfect habit right away. So I want to talk about perfectionism and being perfect. Do not worry if you do this perfectly. Just do it to the best of your ability and let it go. I don't care if you do a few of these questions, if you have days where you forget about it or whatever, just do your best. Don't worry about perfection. We're trying to build a habit. If you forget or mess up or whatever, just get right back to it. And ultimately, you want to build a better habit. Not a perfect habit, but a better habit, because the habit you're in right now is not producing good results for you. And you want a habit that is for one reason. You want these habits for one reason, so that you can create an awesome future, so that you can have a life where you're able to pursue whatever your dreams are, okay? I am not saying that to be fluffy. I am not saying that to be cheesy. I'm saying realistically, you need to build habits so that you can work towards your dreams and have a fantastic future. Not a mediocre life, not an average life. I want you to have a remarkable future, a great future. And you can have that, but you need good habits. Here we go. What I want you to do is every day from now until the end of school to use this piece of paper. I made you 3 different types. A big one that explains it in depth, a medium one that is a little easier to read, and a micro version that you can cut out. There are 4 of these and 4 of these. You can tape them on your desk, you can tape them in your planner, you can tape them on your door, on the refrigerator, you can put them wherever you want, but these are going to have the magical key questions. All right, let me tell you about the magical key questions. I put this together for you because these are the questions that I use with my students day in and day out. If you follow what I'm telling you on here, you can rest assured that you're covering all the bases. If you're a parent and you're asking your kids, once you're done with this, you can and need to stop the conversation with your child for the evening. Kids can get very stressed out, overwhelmed. They can feel a lot of pressure when you start hounding them or being overbearing with them with these questions or with however you question your children. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty or anything. I'm just being honest. Like, kids will be, my students are stressed oftentimes by their parents because their parents are trying to ask the right questions, but it often feels like a lecture that's never going to end, and that feels very stressful to the kids. So when you're done with this, as a parent, you can rest assured that you've asked all the right questions. Let it go for the night. Okay, you're looking for baby steps of progress. That counts. And if you're the student, you want to go through this every night, either with your parent or an accountability partner or by yourself, but these are the questions you want to ask. If you go through this again, you will cover all your bases. Here we go. I wrote, consider this, and these are the things I want you to consider every single day for the rest of school. And this is going to progressively make your pattern go up so that your grades can start to get better and you can end the year on the strongest possible note. Here's what I wrote. Do you want to turn around in school, then use these questions on a daily basis until they become a part of your thinking. So if you do this for the next 2 months, it's going to become more and more a part of your thinking, so you don't have to figure things out as much. It's going to become more automatic. So these, and I wrote, these are the type of key questions that every successful student must get in the habit of asking. So anybody who is a successful student, if you look at your friends that are naturally strong students, they ask these type of questions very naturally. You don't, and that's okay. That's why I'm doing this. All right, here we go. Number 1, the first thing you're going to do is plan. When you get home from school, the best thing you can possibly do is sit down for 5 minutes and plan your night. I don't care if you start your homework right after school, but if you actually take a minute to plan your night, you're going to be much more successful. Most students don't plan. Most struggling students don't plan. They get home, they just pull out some homework and do some stuff if they even do anything. And it's very overwhelming. They know they have a lot of things to do. You need to make a plan, okay? I don't care if you like planning or not. You need to get in the habit of making one. I personally have my students make it on just a small piece of paper, just the 3 to 5 things they have to do that night. 2, NOP. What's your NOP? The NOP is your number 1 priority, NOP. What is your number 1 priority tonight? If you did nothing else tonight, nothing else, what one piece of homework would you do? What one project would you work on? What one test would you study for? What one thing is your most important priority? The NOP, the number 1 priority of the night. Ideally, you're going to do your NOP first. You do it before all other homework and get it out of the way. Sometimes that's not practical, but ideally, you're going to do your number 1 priority first every night. 3, planner. Now I said plan before, that was just planning for tonight. Here, planner, you need to update your planner. This is a piece of paper to write your nightly plan, but your planner is where you're going to have all of your assignments and everything. So I wrote, you should update your planner mindfully. You need to ask yourself if you have any math, science, social studies, language arts, or other. I have it all listed for you. Should you be doing any reading, writing projects, or studying for tests or quizzes? Let me explain that. My students are professional procrastinators, and so am I. It's been a struggle my whole life. How do you work with this? Well, they might have a reading assignment where they have 3 weeks to read, and yet it's never in the planner. You need to ask yourself, should you be reading anything? Do you have any novels or textbooks or articles or things that you're supposed to be reading and not wait till the last minute? Do you have any writing projects, like big projects? Do you have any projects that you should be working on periodically, not waiting till the last minute? And should you be studying for any tests, quizzes? Not tests that are tomorrow, but tests that are next week. You should actually be studying way beforehand. So I have that question. You get that stuff in your planner. Okay, math, science, social studies, language arts, reading, writing, projects, tests, or quizzes. That's what you get in your planner. Next, I want you to check your grades. This is number 4. Look at your grades thoughtfully. I don't care if you have a B in the class. What I care about is the details of the grades. Do you have any missings? Do you have any incompletes? Do you have any zeros? Things that need to be addressed. That's what I'm talking about looking at in the grade book, not your actual overall grade, but what things need to be done. Here's what I said. Make a list of things that need to be acted upon, your action items, the things that need to be done, the missing assignments, and so on. I also said with grades, be honest and forthcoming with your parents. Please do not lie to them about your grades. Now, if they're hounding you too much about your grades, you have the right to set a boundary and say, Mom, Dad, stop it. I don't want to talk about grades every single day. But they have a right to interfere in your life. If you're getting D's and F's, they have a right to be asking about it. But you can set a boundary and say, look, let's talk about grades 2 days a week or 1 day a week. But as it gets closer to the end of the year, they have more and more of a right to ask about your grades, okay? But if there's no problem, they don't need to be asking you. But if there's a problem, they have that right. But again, you can set your boundary. So, but be honest and forthcoming with them, okay? Don't lie about it. Advocacy. Do I need to email my teachers or go to office hours? Advocacy. Here's what happens. I say to my students, all right, why don't we email your teacher right now and ask them about this zero? And they say, oh no, I'll talk to him tomorrow. And then the next day comes and they've forgotten to talk to them. Okay, look, just stop resisting. If you trust me for the next 2 months of school and you have any zeros or missings or things like that, email your teachers or go to their office hours, but be proactive. Don't be cutting corners on this. It's getting to the end of the school year. Advocate for yourself. This is for you. Next, backpack. Reorganize your backpack every night. Now, it's only going to take you a minute if you're doing it every day, but for the rest of school, I just want you to go through everything, particularly, okay, if you have rotting food in there, that's bad. Get rid of it. But I'm not even as concerned about the rotting food as I am in your backpack with stray papers, because that's what kills students. My students that misplace papers, they're crammed in the bottom of the backpack or they're somewhere lost in the abyss of the backpack, get those stray papers out and deal with them every day. At the very minimum, when you do your backpack, do that. Next, I want you to ask yourself about focus. How's your focus tonight? If you have homework to do, you need to focus. However, focus has 2 parts. One is trying to focus. The other is removal of distractions. Turn off the phone, get it out of the room. Don't be using Snapchat and Facebook and this and that. Close tabs, Minecraft, whatever your thing is. Eliminate distractions. Kick the dog out of the bedroom, lock the door so your little brother or sister can't bug you. Whatever the distractions are, you need to A, focus, and B, remove distractions so that you can focus. Don't fool yourself about things like that. You know, like really value yourself enough to be like, I'm worth this. I don't need distractions when I'm trying to get my stuff done. Next is the last one. This is a temperature check. Ask yourself every day, what's my biggest stress lately? And what is the solution to that stress? Okay, you need to really think about this stuff so that you can respond rather than react to life. You don't want to be in a reactionary life where you're just like having your buttons pushed and you just react to everything. You need to learn to respond and to slow down and respond very mindfully to the stress in your life. All right, so that's this. I made a couple copies. Whether you're a parent or a student, you can use these. These 2 copies, I made the questions very short. This is the simplest of the 3, the smaller one, and they're just really quick bullets. So you can sit down at your desk, look at these questions every night, go through it real quick. It'll take you 5, 10, or 15 minutes to go through the entire thing, and it will upgrade your grades tremendously. If you do this, and not perfectly, if you forget a day or 2, or one day you only feel like going through part of the list, or even if you lie about your grades and you feel guilty about that, you can always go back and apologize. If that's a stress, what's the solution? Maybe apologize for not being honest about, the point is, don't do this perfectly, but if you implement these for the next couple months of school, as things are predictably going to fall apart for a lot of you, it will not. And it will be a much better, smoother, more fun, less stressful end of the year, so that, 1, you can have a better opportunity at an incredible future. And 2, you can have a stress-free, free summer with no summer school, no repeating classes in the fall, no thoughts whatsoever of anything academic. You can really be free to really have space to really enjoy your summer and have an awesome, awesome summer that you really deserve. All right, with that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.